Listen, man, let me tell you something. Something that you can take with you for the rest of your days, and I'm telling you, it gives you kind of a different outlook on life. Listen, us men, we tend to think sometimes, and maybe you don't think this way, but you've definitely experienced it. I know I've definitely used to think this way. We think sometimes that because we're feeling a certain way, or because our day or our week is going a certain way, or because we're in a certain place that we don't want to be in, or we're going through something we don't want to go through, that this just means, hey, this is it. Like, I'm in a bad mood, my entire day's ruined, my week is ruined. I'm living in a place where I'd rather live someone else. Yeah, this part of my life doesn't really matter. This part of my life sucks. It'll be better once I actually move somewhere else. My life will be better once this storm passes. My life will be better once I'm feeling better. And we tend to find these things because when life ain't going perfect, and when something's going a little bit wrong or something's not going perfect, we'll find either a reason to stress or not be very happy, or just kind of blame everything or everyone else as to why our life isn't going that great. And the problem with this is, well, yeah, number one, the fact that we're blaming other factors of our life when we know that life ain't perfect and life will never be perfect. That's number one. But number two is that when eventually, right, if you're saying that, hey, I'm having, I'm not feeling great today, so my day is ruined, I'll feel better tomorrow. Okay, then you know what's going to happen is that tomorrow's going to come around, you're going to feel better, but then you'll find something else that's going to ruin your day. And the mindset of this is kind of like a trap. And us men, we have a superpower, man. We have a superpower. Because for women, it's a lot harder for them to control their emotions. They got like hormones running through them and stuff. And I know women are more emotional kind of like people, right? So it's a lot harder for them to control their emotions. But with us men, we have like the superpower to where, sure, we might not be able to get rid of a certain emotion, but we have the power to control it to the maximum. Like we have the power to control it to the max, and we have the power to say, hey, I'm not going to let this ruin my day. I'm not going to let this ruin my life. I'm not going to let the fact that I live in this certain area, like for example, right? I live in a place where I would rather live in somewhere maybe like Colorado or Arizona or South Carolina or Tennessee. I've come up with all these different kinds of states, like named all these different kinds of states that I think it would be awesome to live in. And I remember I used to think to myself, I'll be happier and I'll be living a better life once I move out of here and I move to one of those states. I'll be happier once I do this. But you want to know what the problem? There's a multiple problems with that actually. Is that number one, I can't necessarily know that. I might move out and yeah, the state might be nicer, but I might be more lonely. I might not, God might be calling me to stay here for my life, but I completely disobeyed him and I moved somewhere else, so now things are just kind of messy, right? So, yeah, I can sit here and say I'll be happy once I move out. I'll be happy once this happens. My life will be better once I get to this season. Things will be better once this happens. I can sit here and say that all day long, or I'm miserable, or I'm angry, or my life isn't that great because of this, or this, or this. I can sit here and say these things, but the problem with this is that it's just not true. It's just not true. You can't be certain that your life is just all of a sudden going to be better when you say it's going to be better. Like, because this certain thing happened or this certain thing happened. But you want to know what's funny? Is that we can make our lives better now. We have the power to control how we live this life, man. Meaning that life is only what you make of it. Life isn't about I'll be happy once I get here, or once this happens, or I'll be doing better, or things will be better. It's not, dude, life is only what you make of it, man. I've seen people that have gone through some hard, stinking times. I've seen people that, are blind. I've seen some people that have lost hearing, and I've seen them with a smile on their face. And I've seen them make the most of what they got. And then I've seen people who have it all, man, have everything that anyone could ever want. I've seen people that have like these beautiful families and beautiful kids, a beautiful wife, and a nice house and a good stable job, and yet, they walk around with a bad attitude toward life. They walk around saying, yeah, things will be better once this happens, or things, no, things will be better than once this happens. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, you have everything. What you mean? So it really goes to show, man, right? Life is only what we make of it. And ever since I stopped saying to myself, I'll be happy once I move out of here, well, I'll be happy once this happens, you know what I'm saying to myself? I'm gonna make life the best I can now. Sure, that doesn't mean that life is just gonna be perfect because I want it to be. It's not gonna be perfect just because I say it is. But what it does mean is whether I'm angry, whether I'm miserable, whether I'm ticked off, whether I'm stressed, whether I'm living in a place that I don't really like, whether I'm single and alone, or I actually have a girlfriend, whatever it is, I'm gonna make the most of this life. And if I know that I need to drop something from my life, like if I genuinely felt God saying, hey, Justin, you need to get out of here right now and you need to go here. I'm not asking you to go there. I'm telling you to go there. Then that's the case. But you know what? Me wanting to move to a different state, I haven't felt God actually tell me that. It's just something that I would want and I would think would be cool. Right? But until God tells me it, you know, I can't just sit here and say I'll be happy once this happens. Because number one, it may actually never happen. It may never happen, or it may not happen for many, many years. You know, or it could happen tomorrow. You just never know. So am I going to sit here waiting around for me to be happy and fulfilled and satisfied with life? Or am I going to go out and do what I need to do as a man and just make the darn most of everything that I got? Because again, I've seen people who have nothing or just a bare stinking minimum. And I think to myself, like, wow, I feel so bad for that person. Like, I hope they're doing okay. And of course I've seen some of those people that are angry and miserable. That's fine. But I've also seen some of those kind of people that are just smiling their way through life and praising God through life. And then I've seen some people that have absolutely everything you could want. And yeah, I've seen some of those people that are happy too. But then I've also seen some of those people that have everything and they're just miserable and angry and find every reason to pick on life or to blame life for bad things that happen. The bottom line is, man, whether you have everything or nothing, whether you are where you want to be here in life or not, whether you feel happy or not, the bottom line is that it doesn't mean that you can't make the most of everything. It doesn't mean that you have to let, a bad mood ruin your entire life, ruin your entire week, ruin your entire day. It doesn't mean that you have to let, the fact that you live in a place that you don't want to live in ruin the rest of your life until you move out. You just make the most of what you got. And yeah, you're going to have days where you feel sad or down or angry or ticked off. That's fine, man. Like, hey, we're human. Things happen, right? It's about, are you holding on to this negative emotions just because, like, you're holding on to it? Or can you genuinely control it and let it go, right? Or maybe this is something you got to wait for to pass. That's fine. But even on days where I've been angry, you know what I do? I go on a run, man, and I go do a hard workout. I make the most of my anger. You know what I do on days when I'm sad? I go outside and I talk to God, man. And I let my thoughts run through my head and I sit and I stay in peace as much as I can. I make the most of whatever it is. On days where I'm happy, man, there's been days where I'm super happy, but I also feel lazy, right? So I can either just go lay in my bed even though I'm super happy. That's not even making the most of my happiness. Or I can just go out and live life, man, and praise God and stuff, right? The bottom line is no matter how you feel or what you're going through or what's happening, hey, we all got our stuff that we're going through, man. Life will never be perfect. Even when this storm passes or this thing passes or this mood passes, another thing is just going to come upon you. That's just how life works, man. It's never going to be all perfect and peachy, So we all got our things that we're going through. And yes, of course we got to work our way through them. Of course we got to get through them and fight through them, absolutely. But you can also make the most of everything that you're going through. You can make the most of the battles that you're fighting. You can make the most of the storms you're walking through. You can make the most of the life that you're living. Even if you don't feel that happy or you don't feel that great, you can make the most of it. And yeah, if there are things that are causing you to be brought down in life and to be brought down, sometimes you got to ask yourself, do I got to let this thing go? Or do I got to let my attitude toward it go? Because I've seen people who work crappy jobs. And yeah, of course, a lot of them aren't that happy, right? But I've also seen people that work crappy jobs, and yet they'll just make the most of it and they'll just have some fun with it, man. And then I've seen people that work these like really nice, high-paying jobs and like good people around and stuff, so they're pretty good jobs. But then there's people that are in those jobs that are some of them are angry and miserable, and then of course some of them are happy. So it's like, hey, no matter what happens, man, you just got to make the most of life. And we, especially as men, we have the power to control our emotions. It doesn't mean we don't feel our emotions. It doesn't mean you bottle them up and throw them away and act like Mr. Tough Guy. No, you feel them out, man. Like let your emotions be there. Feel them out. But you can also use those emotions for good. Again, I've used my anger to go on hardcore runs and do some hardcore workouts. I've used my sadness as a time to really just be alone and gather my thoughts and feelings and talk with God and just be in peace. I've used my stress, and my fear as a way to build courage. I've used my happiness as a way to make great memories. So no matter Like, no matter what you're feeling, what you're going through, positive or negative, you can still make the most of whatever it is that you're going through. You don't have to let this thing ruin your day or ruin your week or ruin your life, man. That's up to you to decide. You might not be able to decide what kind of emotions come upon and when, because yeah, there's different factors in life that cause certain emotions. Like if we lose a loved one, yeah, we're gonna feel sad. So again, I'm not telling you not to feel emotions. Of course, feel emotions, man. Feel them out, but also use them for good. Hey, if you need to take some time, man, and just let some tears out, man, hey, that's cool. That's cool. But you also don't have to let the situation, ruin your entire life and say, like, this is it. My life is over, or my day is over, my week is over, everything sucks, right? You don't have to let anything ruin your life. And even some loved ones of mine that have passed, right? Of course I've been sad. Of course I've shed a couple tears, man. But at the same time, I also know that, they would want me to move on and live a happy life, right? Because they care about me just as I would want them to if I had passed before them. At times where I'm angry, again, I just use it to go on hardcore runs or do some hardcore workouts, man. Let out that steam. And then when I let off that steam, then yeah, I still feel kind of angry at whatever it is that made me angry. But then I just go solve that problem. Whatever it is that's making me angry, I go and solve it after I let off that steam, man. So again, the bottom line, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through, you can make the most of it. You can deal with it in a healthy way, in a rightful way, and you can make the absolute most of whatever you're going through, even if it's negative, even if it's not that great. You can still make the most of it, because us men, like God gave us the free will to decide how we're going to live our lives, right? And again, you can either be that person that has everything and yet is just miserable, or you can be that person that has nothing but God. And sure, you might not feel like all that happy or might not feel that great, but you can still like look up to the sky and smile and just say like, hey, you know what, God? I may have the bare minimum, but all I got is you, and I'm here living this life. I mean, that's enough to be grateful for. So thank you, God, for this, right? And you could just make the most of whatever you got, man. Make the most of whatever you got in this life, because you got one shot at this thing, and you and I both don't know if we're gonna wake up tomorrow, or if we're gonna end up at the hospital at the end of the day on our deathbed or something. So would you rather look back on life saying, hey, I lived this miserable life, even though like I had so much to be grateful for and so much to smile about, and God gave me so much, and I made it miserable, all because I thought I needed this to be happy, or this had to happen for me to be happy, right? When that wasn't even true. I was just feeding those lies to myself. Or you can look back on your life one day and say, hey, I know I didn't have that much. I know I've had a lot of bad days and a lot of hard times, but I still made the most of it, and I'm grateful I was able to experience this all, So it's up to you, man. But we got the power, man. We have the power to decide how we're going to live this life. And it's up to us, man. It's up to us to make the most of our own lives. Because again, you might not be able to decide how you feel one day, or if something bad happens in your life or not. Because yeah, a lot of bad things happen because of bad decisions we make, but there's also a lot of bad things that happen just out of nowhere. We might not have the power to control that, but we do have the power to control what we're going to make of it all. And at the end of the day, we can either say, hey, life sucks and I hate it, even though I got a lot, or I'm going to make the most of whatever I do got. Even if it's not everything I want, it's everything I need. Or I'm here living and I got God. What else do I need, man? So it's up to you. It's up to you to decide, how are you going to live this life? And are you going to make the most of it? Or are you going to let time just pass away like most other people? And you just never find anything to smile about. Up to you, man. What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to live this life? And are you going to make the most of it? Because that, my friend, that is up for you to decide. Not what happens and not how you feel, but up to you to decide if you're going to make the most of it or not. All right, let's go work out. So here's the deal. You see that back there? Yeah. If what I'm seeing on my radar is correct, we have 28 minutes to do this workout and get back to the car before lightning starts striking the area. So, going toward the storm, but can't get caught in it. So, let's do this thing. Oh yeah, tell me this doesn't look pretty epic right here. Whew, if only you were here in person, or if you did something like this, like in real life too, not necessarily just watching it. Oh man, it is some epic feeling, man. But you also got to be careful you don't want to get caught in the storm. But oh yeah, oh this is gnarly. This is cool. I feel like I'm about to be in like the Twisters movie or something. And you know what? This makes me want to come out here and just have like a picnic or just like sit out here alone or something. I don't know what it is, but sometimes just like the fact of there's no one else around. There's no one else around. Just like a lonely bench, and you're just out kind of in the middle of a grassland. There's a really neat feeling to it. It feels lonely, but the cool kind of lonely, not like the lonely kind of lonely. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's work out, man. This is the spot right here. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I find a snake in this prairie, I'll try to catch it. I do see a big old spider though. All right, let's do this. I forgot my gloves, so I'm hoping I don't cut myself on the wood or anything. That's all I'm hoping for at this point. We got a good old-fashioned push workout. Oh, what more epic place to do it than in the middle of the prairie when there's a storm coming on the way. Yeah. 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 Ah. 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 Yeah. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. 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 Ah. Yeah. 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 Go on. Dang, that's good. I know I mentioned last time about doing like negatives, which is like when you do half the rep, you hold it and then you push back up. Yeah, or maybe a couple times ago, like a couple videos ago. Very recently I mentioned about that, and yeah, man, they hit real good. So you wanna boost your muscle growth, you wanna boost your workouts, do some of those negatives, because I'm telling you, man, even back when I was going to the gym, that stuff was good too. My dad first taught me about it. So you do, yeah, whether you're at the gym or calisthenics or weightlifting or body weight, whatever it is, those negatives, they hit hard and they hit good. But that's what counts. I want to do one I want to do a set without the weighted vest too, at least on here. So I'll do that, and then I'll finish the rest up on my own, be on our way. But I'll show you around a little bit too. Nope. Whew. All right, I'm gonna go finish up the rest of this, and then I'll do a physique check and hope it's not lightning striking by then. So I'll see you then. I was just in the middle of this set, and do you see it? Do you spot it? You ever watch Nuke's Top 5? Did you see it? Look at that. He's stalking me, and he knows that I'm recording him. Oh man, my arms are killing. There he is. Look at the guy. You wanna do some push-ups, bro? He's like, no thanks. Yeah, I had to record that. Little beautiful creature. Back to the set. Stormy physique check time. Well, it's not really storming. I realized on the radar that it's actually going like kind of this way. So the way it's coming toward me is from about this way. Wait. which even though it doesn't look like it from like this point of view, if you were to be able to see out between those trees more, it's more a little bit just clouds, whereas the storm itself is more kind of like back that way, or at least the rain itself. So it's either going to hit me but barely, or just barely past me. But so far nothing's hit yet, surprisingly, and it's been a good chunk of time too. So radar is probably wrong again, no surprise there. But yeah, here we go. And hey, for physique checks, it's kind of funny because I know I've talked about, you know, getting the best lighting. And look, wait, I can't really tell you how to do the best kind of poses for a physique check. That's more something that you just gotta watch and learn on your own. Like, I've learned from watching other people that I used to work out with, along with other YouTube creators. So that's more something you just gotta watch and kind of learn for yourself when you're watching. Oh! Hang on. Wait, it's actually a pretty good shot. I like this. Okay. Hold up thought. So I can't really tell you how exactly to do the poses, but what I can tell you is to always have the best lighting. Now, usually the best lighting would be the sun's out and it's shining directly on you, right? Because I mean, it's pure natural lighting. It's right on you. Do like a Hulk thing. Although I'm quite a bit away from the Hulk. But yeah, usually I would say like have the sunlight directly on you. Home lights or gym lights, they can be good or bad. If you're at the gym or if you're at home and you're checking, don't take like wherever the place that you do the physique check is, at home or in the gym, don't take it as, oh, whatever this shows, it's it. Because a lot of the times the lighting can be good or bad depending on where you're at. And sometimes where you're at, you might think it's good and your physique is just terrible, but in reality, it's actually just bad lighting. Now, of course, if you're first starting off, you're not going to have much of a physique to show, but I'm talking about as time goes on and the more that you work out, right? Heck, I mean, even after like a couple weeks, start checking, man. Just kind of see if you see any little progress. You're not going to see this huge progress after a couple weeks, but you're going to see something little, which is always good. But don't take as one lighting fits all kind of thing, because it's not true. I mean, you might think that you have good lighting, but in reality, your lighting is terrible. And then there's actually other better lighting somewhere else in your house or somewhere else at the gym. That's why, like, I think the best physique checks are outside when the sun's directly on you, because you got the most natural light possible. Like, so that's the most trustworthy, it's the most natural light. It's shining directly on you to where, I mean, if it's shining directly on you, it can't miss anything. So I think that's the best kind of lighting, is outside in the sun shining directly on you. But yeah, sometimes even like cloudy days like this, sometimes you could get to make those faces sometimes, just like, ah. Sometimes you can actually have some pretty good lighting even with all clouds, but sometimes there's cloudy days and the lighting sucks. If you ever seen any of my videos back in winter, some of my thumbnails basically looked like I had no abs and I had barely any chest and I barely had any arms, which, like I said, I know I'm not Arnold Schwartz, but I'm talking about if you saw like some of the thumbnails. If you go in the OG videos, links in the description to the second channel where I uploaded the OG videos. Whole backstory if you're seeing this for the first time. But you can see some of those thumbnails, and some of them are good in the wintertime, some of them are bad. Just like some of them are good in the summertime, some of them are bad. It's all because of the lighting. Sometimes the cloudy days somehow bring out good lighting, and sometimes there will be cloudy days where the lighting's terrible and it looks like you have nothing. So that's why I always just think the best kind of lighting is just directly in the pure sun shining directly on you, because then you have the most natural, powerful lighting and it can't miss anything if it's directly on you. So, I mean, logically that would be the best, right? Yeah. Whoa, I just realized this piece of wood's like, it did not move before. All right, so if I ever come out here and eat a meal out here or something, or if I do another workout in this spot, which I'm loving this spot a lot, so I may as well just have to. Just gotta be careful of that. Oh, okay, let's start walking back, shall we? And I'll show you around. Weird, because now at the same spot looking out, I mean, it looks like the storm disintegrated or something. Because, I mean, at first you were able to see rain over there, but now, I mean, it's just nowhere to be found. Yeah, it's midday storm breakup or something. I don't know. Because I know in the summer times, when the storms hit, for like 95% of the time, they hit pretty quick and then go away. So on occasion, you'll have those all-day rain or storm events, but for the most part, it's just, hey, it hits quick and goes away. So maybe it was one of those storms. So yeah, this is where I walked in. This is cool, man. I love this shot. Oh, man, just like that lonely... Oh, dude. He's coming back over. Don't worry, my man. I'll be back. Yeah. It's just a cool shot. I don't know what it is about, like, that lonely picnic bench. It just... Oh, it looks so, like, just cool. It looks cool. Yeah, because look, you got, like, a whole world out there. Got the whole street out there. And then when you come over here, I thought this was pretty cool. I'm on this, like, this grassland kind of, it's like a trail, but more of an off trail. But if you come over here, before you go there, I believe this is telling about like the little history of where I'm at. It's actually a collection of prairie, wetlands, shrubland, and something else. After thousands of years, set by lightning and native peoples, hundreds of years ago, this prairie stretched past the something. More than half this living material on the prairie is ground. That's telling like these little facts. This looks like it would be a cool place just to hang around with people or something. I don't know. Just boom, right out in the middle of the open. Then over here, you got a map of like the streets and everything where you're at. So it's actually it's a pretty cool little structure. Yeah, this is where I came in from, and then you just got kind of this lonely spot, and then if you want to get extra lonely, that's where you go to that picnic bench out there. I don't know. I think this is pretty cool. You know, it's nothing like hiking a mountain or crossing the Sahara Desert or anything like that. You know, but it's simple, and I like it. Sometimes the simple things in life, man, you just got to appreciate. But yeah, like out there, there's the whole life and world of people, and you just come back here to this kind of lonely spot, but you could outlook the entire place. I think that's pretty cool. And then you could also go down here too, as well, like way down here. I'll take a little walk down here and see if there's anything. If there is, I'll show it. If not, I'll be heading back because this trail can go on for a long time, and I got stuff to do. I got some stuff to do. On top of that, still unsure about that rain. Don't think it's gonna hit, but either way, still got stuff to do. So I'll take a little walk down here and show you if there's anything cool, or if it's just like the path. All right, so it looks like it's just mostly trail that goes around that whole grassland out there that I showed you, or at least a good chunk of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But out here, it looks cool whenever you can see stuff way out in the distance like that. Sometimes you just like look out there and you feel so manly, you know, if you're, because I'm not on a mountain or anything, but I'm higher up to where I can kind of look out there and see the whole view, which is so beautiful, man. Feel kind of like a king standing at the top of a mountain or something, even though I'm not even close to the top of a mountain, not even on a mountain. But still, just being able to look out there and see that view, it's cool. Bottom line, is cool. And question for you before I turn this off and we go back to the car: are we in an El Nino phase? I keep seeing mixed things, like El Nino is coming or El Nino like is not here yet, but I've also seen things like, oh, El Nino's here, El Nino this, and I'm just curious because it went from really dry to really humid super fast, and I just didn't know if that had anything to do with it. I'm also kind of a weather guy, so I'm kind of curious. But sometimes I tend to dive too deep into the weather stuff, and then I'll read all these different articles, and you know, when you start reading too much, then you start noticing mixed signals for everything, and now I don't know if we're in an El Nino or not. I heard that we're supposed to get one of the strongest El Ninos like we've ever had, but again, these are just things that I've heard, so didn't know if you knew or not.